everyone, welcome to another episode of the Fashion Grunge podcast. I am your host, Lauren.
And I'm Jai. Hi.
Hey, what's up? Oh, I'm so excited today. We're talking Totally Fucked Up by Gregg Araki from 93. Oh, I'm stoked. Are you excited?
I am, yeah. I think what you were saying just off air, I think you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, I said I'm really glad that we didn't actually, or I didn't suggest for you to watch this first, and then we watched the trilogy, the Teenage Apocalypse Trilogy in order, because I feel like now that you know his style in a more like realized way, like in a way more like 90s and like budget, like more money, you can tell there's more money and more like of a team in that other ones. It's cool that you can go back now and see like what something is like that's all shot by him, like very like, and we'll get into it a little bit, but like very renegade. So I'm excited to hear your thoughts about it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this was the right way to do it, actually. And I actually really liked it. I think it's amazing that he made a movie that captured what was like being a gay teenager in the
Yeah.
early 90s in America. I don't
Hmm.
think I've seen that before.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. Like the fact that it's so low budget and like sort of DIY, um, and has like a documentary feel to it. I
Hmm.
really like that. It feels like he was just like following and recording like a group of friends
Yeah,
in their
totally.
daily lives and like their relationships. It doesn't feel like staged,
Yeah,
or
this is
like
exactly how
acted.
I feel about kids. This is why I
Yeah,
love Gregg
yeah,
Araki and Larry Clark so much. Is
yeah.
because
It's the
like,
same with kids. Yeah,
yeah, it's so cool. Although the thing that I really like about Nowhere is that that one is like it has a no plot, but the way it's written is just so funny and ridiculous. Like just
yeah.
all of the ways that they say things and like the things that just make no sense. But this one you could tell I could feel like I'm watching a documentary. Like there's no way that these were lines,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. No, totally. I think it's just so amazing to see. And I see like it feels like an important movie, you know?
Hmm.
Like I totally see why he had such a big following. And like because funny enough, like I actually like talked to a few people I know who are like 10 years, like 7 years younger than us.
Hmm.
And they know him and they
Oh,
love,
cool.
and I was so like it was such a shock when they
In
told me.
England? These are people
No,
in England?
no, 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 no.
Oh,
I don't.
here.
I honestly don't think in England people know. I mean,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say in England. Whoa.
no,
Oh,
no, 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 no.
here.
I don't know people who are younger than me in the UK. Only here.
Oh, here. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Here. Wow.
Yeah, and it was so unexpected. They're both from here, from Washington, and they're one is like, I mean, as I said, just 10 years younger than us, right?
Yeah.
And one of them is gay, and the other one's a girl. It's just
Okay.
my friend Janella, and I was just so shocked that they really
That's
know his
cool.
movies, and they. I've actually seen them posting like pictures on Instagram of like sort of them watching the movie on a projector and stuff. I'm like, that's
Oh,
really cool. I
wow.
wonder
That's
how
so
even,
cool.
and it looks really good quality. So they must have the DVD.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Um, so yeah, I see why he still speaks to like a younger generation.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's, even though like it's more acceptable to be gay these days and like there is more support, it's weird that it's not completely normalized yet.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
it's been like almost 20 years, right? This came out in 93,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Almost 30. Like
What,
almost 30 years.
really?
Yeah, this came out like what,
93. Oh
20?
yeah. Oh God. I'm thinking like God, clearly
Yeah, like we're fucking old.
oh my
This is a
God.
long time.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so strange to see that you're right. Like it hasn't changed. It has.
Yeah.
There's been some change, but at the same time, it feels like it hasn't.
Yeah, it's really crazy. That's what I texted you when I was watching it today. I was like, it's so crazy how different this movie is, but then not at all. It's
Hmm.
it's like there's been progress, but then in some ways it's like we're still back behind, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely really weird. Like, cause then you think of people like Ezra Miller and like
Hmm.
I don't know, so many people that are really fluid and like cool and they totally embrace like who they
Yeah.
are, and they're really like open about it. And but then you still have people getting murdered because they're gay in like certain
Yeah, even
places.
still, yeah. And
It's,
trans now. Like,
yeah.
yeah, that's like more of an issue too. Yeah, it's really interesting and then also really sad too when you think about it. And same with like suicide is still a problem
Hmm.
within gay youth and youth in general, but
Just
and
in
gay
general.
youth and trans
Yeah.
youth. And yeah, I mean it really tells you a lot about society. And even when I think one of the girls, I don't know the characters' names that well,
Same.
but even the two girls that are a couple, one of the girls is talking in one of her interviews and she's like, yeah, can you believe it, like AIDS, because AIDS is like there was an AIDS crisis, like it was
Mm.
basically like that was the big thing in the 90s. It's like it was just always talked about. And because it was like a huge problem and like a pandemic essentially, almost like what we have now. But she talked about it like it just seems like it's fake, like the way that the right kind of portrays it, like it's this like kind of like like premarital sex and like only people who use needle drugs and are
Hmm.
gay, like they're the only people that get it and die. Like she was talking about like the way that they like kind of sell it as to
Yeah.
like it's a morality thing, like as if you can't be straight and get it, which clearly obviously we all know you can. So it's like, but back then the way that it was portrayed was like it was a gay disease, and like it was a lot. So
Yeah.
it's just really crazy like how, and even the way the right is now, like it's gone in a weird direction, but it's still like fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's like,
You know, it's I mean, I don't know if you maybe did it thinking about this, but did you know that today is World AIDS Day?
yeah, I didn't even
Yeah.
know that. I mean, I didn't like, I mean, I knew that there was an AIDS day, but I had no idea what actual day it was.
Yeah, it's
So yeah, it's
today.
really interesting that,
It is
yeah, it's
coming up
today.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Oh, great. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
So yeah, it's really interesting. No, I did not know. We were actually going to do this last week. And
Oh
then I was
yeah,
like, no, let's
yeah.
do Almost Famous because it was streaming, and I was like, okay, it's free, let's just do it because people can watch it, and I hadn't seen it. And this is on YouTube, by the way, for people who want to see it. I'll link it down below, so check it out as soon as possible. Sometimes those links go up and then they're all of a sudden they're not there. So I would say when you're listening to it, I'll make a little note in the show notes, like check this film out. It's also pretty short. It's like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I have to say, just I mean, nothing to do with the film, but I wish I had seen this in like high quality sort of
I know.
video
There is a
form.
DVD which I actually want to get. I should like put that on my list.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there was a Region 1 DVD that came out. I think I saw on Wikipedia it said 2005.
Yeah, but apparently I read that there are not many out there, so it's really
Oh,
rare.
it's probably expensive.
Well, I mean, all I read that was it's really hard to get a hold
Oh shit. Oh,
because
well.
obviously it came out in 2005, and I don't think there were many copies of it. So
Oh.
yeah, they were like, if you
Well,
have a copy,
that
you're one
sucks.
of the very few lucky people.
Oh wow. Okay. And my Nowhere DVD is like bootleg. Like I made it
Oh,
from like a downloaded copy because they never made one for the States. Like they
oh,
made Nowhere for
that's
like
why they did it for
Region
the
2 or
UK, right?
whatever. Hmm?
They did it for the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In like Europe, I think
very
it's like Region
funny.
2. Yeah, it's so weird.
How does
But
that even make
actual
sense? But like,
Yeah, it makes no sense. Actually, the Criterion Channel at one point was playing this on their, I don't know if they have
really?
like, yeah, I think they have some kind of premium cable channel or whatever, but they were playing this. I think it might have, there were like they were doing like an Araki thing where they were playing like some of his films, which was really
Mm.
cool. Yeah, so I was like, oh wow, but I don't have that channel, but I saw that out. So it was recently talked about, so it's not completely forgotten, I guess.
Well, I've just looked it up, and apparently you can get it. You can get the DVD on Amazon for from 79.99.
Oh
So
shit, so it's like $80.
that
Okay, well, I mean, watch it on YouTube. Like, I guess bookmark it. But
so
that's a
crazy.
lot. Yeah.
I
The
know.
Doom Generation I've always wanted on DVD, and I'm so bummed that I didn't get it because now it's like $80.
Well,
I'm like,
apparently it's
shit.
here for $37.
It's still too much. I don't want to pay that for a
Well,
DVD.
I
I mean,
know,
I have it on my
but it's kind of like
computer.
a yeah.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's
if you
like I
have
don't like.
VHS tape, you can get it for actually more money.
Yeah, I was gonna say tell me more. I have Nowhere on tape. I bought Nowhere on tape. It was made on tape. Like I have the VHS of Nowhere.
So cool.
Yeah, I'm always gonna keep that. That's some of the ones I have. Some of the VHS tapes I have, like I'm keeping like that one that you can't get. I have like some other random things. Yeah, I have so much shit, like random 90 shit. The amount of CDs that I own and like box sets is like kind of scary.
Oh,
Oh, and speaking of box sets, that I'm bummed that I had to like that I well not like I don't have it still, but in when I lived in LA, I had an Oasis box set, a vinyl Oasis box set
uh,
that I used to actually listen to. But before I left, I think I was like broke or something, and I sold it. But I sold it for like $400 because it was like I think I listened to each record like once. I was like really careful with it, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I really don't have to sell this." And when I did, I'm bummed I sold it now, but I still have a few like records and things that I like haven't sold. Like one record I paid an obscene amount for. I'll never sell that.
oh,
Like it's just crazy. But yeah, I have a few things left, but I have like random shit like that. And the Smashing Pumpkins box set. It's like a little like box and it has like CD singles and like EPs, which apparently they're gonna re-release. So that's gonna be cool. But yeah, I
yeah.
have an old one of those. Yeah, I love all that shit. I love all that like random like record shit, like books and like DVDs you used to get with like a special thing that the CD would be in. Like that's
Yeah,
what I
so
miss
do
about
I.
like digital, you know?
I know. It was so nice to have the like the artwork and like the
Hmm.
lyrics and like the way they presented it and I love that. I remember being like 14 and just like read the lyrics and like, like
Yeah, it was so
do
cool.
cool stuff with it. I don't know.
I always wanted to
It's
take
music.
album artwork. Like I always wanted to photograph not just an album cover, but I want to photograph like the artwork, like out in the sleeve, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean it's sad because you can't really I mean you could do it now, but who's really
No one makes the CDs
no,
that have the
no one.
booklets anymore.
No.
Now it's the ones that just fold out and they just have like the one photo or like and then the one photo in the jacket, but they don't have the one where it's like, the thing that slides in.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
and you can actually
exactly.
take out.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
because
take
that
out that's what I mean. Yeah, it was so
yeah, I
cool to see that.
wish.
Like I love the one from Melancholy Infinite.
I know I was gonna say the brown. It's like
The
that brown cardboard.
It's so cool. I had
So
it
cool.
too. That's like one of my favorites, I think.
Yeah, that packaging is pretty dope.
Trying to think what and Radiohead actually. Radiohead's always been amazing at
Yeah.
doing incredible like artwork and like really cool stuff with like photos and like
Yeah,
people
like
like
digital art
with
kind of.
the
That OK
booklet.
Computer cover is so cool.
I
I
know.
still love that cover. It's so awesome.
I love oh my god, Kire actually. I love
Oh yeah, that one's pretty cool too.
I mean all of it really is great. But
Yeah, it is. I love that Radiohead meme that I sent you the other day. It was
that
so
was really funny. You should
I need
post
to
it.
post it. Yeah, I don't know where I got it from though. I'm gonna see if there's like a watermark on it because I feel bad if I don't credit the person. So I gotta like find. I don't remember if I saw it on Twitter or like where I saw it because I want to find like who did it so I can like post it. It's really funny. So yeah, what were your like first thoughts about the film? Like just like
Yeah,
first.
all of the things I just said.
Oh, cool. Oh, that was your first thoughts. Oh, cool. I guess mine too is that yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad we saw it in this order. It's cool to go back and you kind of see how James Duval like plays the same guy.
Yeah,
But not in Doom Generation. He's a bit more like puppy dog, like kind of like what do you call it? Like aloof.
yeah,
He's a bit more aloof. And but I feel like this character he plays, Andy, is very similar to Dark in Nowhere.
yeah, yeah, it is.
He has the same vibe, and he also has the camcorder, which is something that was a big deal in the 90s to use that camcorder vibe. Like Reality Bites did it with Winona Ryder like filming Ethan Hawke.
They all did it in
Yeah.
after this one, right?
Yeah, I think so. American Beauty, I think it said too, which
Yeah,
is another
American Beauty
one.
did it too.
We
Yeah,
have to do American Beauty. I love that movie.
I know.
It's
Just
so
Kevin
good.
Spacey.
I know. And I'm watching House of Cards now. It's getting fucking insane. I was like, good Lord. I mean, I believe all this shit really probably does happen deep down, but this is just crazy. Like this is just so crazy.
It is. It's really good you're
Yeah.
watching it though. Let me know when you're done with it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna watch whenever. I guess I might watch the whole thing. Who knows? But yeah, I'm still in the middle of it, of campaigning in there. So yeah, I have some behind the scenes notes. Do you have any?
Yeah,
There aren't
not
that many.
very much. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna have the same ones.
Yeah, I just have like literally two things.
Okay, what? What do you
They're just that it was basically a lot of it was shot, I think, on 16
Yeah,
millimeter, and they just didn't have permits. It was just like total renegade,
yeah,
just like running
basically.
around.
Yeah, they had like no crew apparently in those days, but also the way he did it, right? Because he was shooting it himself.
Mm-hmm.
He had like a an assistant and a sound person at times, and then obviously whoever was like acting that particular scene. Um, and they would just like get in his car and drive to locations like all over
So
town.
fucking cool.
It's yeah, it is, and also like they used, which is really clever, I guess. And like we've done that with shoots, but I think it's really cool that they use when they were shooting at night, they use his assistant's car's lights.
Oh, rad.
Yeah, and apparently just looked really cool and professional. It just really did the job. But it's
Cool.
just so cool that you just like it's kind of like improv in a way.
Yeah, totally. It's very DIY. And look how awesome it is. Like, I mean, just even for a low budge and then to go from that to like Doom Generation,
Yeah,
like that's
exactly.
just so rad.
It
And they had
is.
like production on that because like the sets alone, they had to like dress up. So yeah, it's so cool. And then when you see Nowhere, you're just like, fuck, man. Ah. Oh, wait, you haven't seen Mysterious Skin yet, have
I
you?
haven't. No,
Oh
that's on my list
God,
actually. I
it's
keep reading
so good.
about it and it keeps
Oh,
popping up.
oh my God, it's really he's just once I watch an Iraqi film, like I just want to watch it for like a week. I just want to watch like all of his other shit because it's just so cool. I think you'd really like Kaboom too. That's from like 2010.
Oh, I saw that advertised too. I'm like
Yeah.
interested.
Yeah, that one. I feel like since you kind of know the vibe now that you've seen like a good amount of his, it's cool to see Mysterious Skin because that has Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Brady Corbett. So they're people that you know, especially Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's oh my gosh, he is so incredible in that film. And yeah, and it's like it's 2004. It's a bit more updated. Like it just looks a little bit more slick, but you can see Iraqi all over it. It's just so cool. I love his whole vibe that I feel like
Yeah,
all of
no,
his
it's
things
really
have.
cool. I mean, yeah, I have one more production note,
Oh
I
yeah.
suppose. Well, it's not really, but I read that at the end of the night,
Mm-hmm.
he will go with his producer. They will drive to like I don't know what this is, but Boondocks of Burbank. Don't know
Uh-huh.
what Burbank is. Is that
Yeah,
an
Burbank.
area?
Yeah, yeah, it's in the valley. Yeah, it's in a
Okay,
valley.
yeah, and they will go every night to drop the film off at the lab because it was
Oh.
just really cool to watch dailies of what they shot that day. I think it's
Oh,
really cool.
that's
They did
so
it every single
cool.
night. Like,
Wow. That's so
yeah,
cool.
it is. Yeah,
Man, I
like
bet
it.
it was really cool. I would actually be interested to hear. I should probably have researched this if he has like more like an interview or something where he talks about this film specifically because this is like,
Hmm,
super early.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
that's
don't know. I
cool.
didn't look for that, but I came across this and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, that's neat. Oh, that's neat. Do you
Cool.
have any I don't really have that many fashion notes, but what did you think about the style of like early 90s LA?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I feel like I've seen that in other movies, but it is literally what the kids were wearing in like early 90s, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, totally.
I nothing really stands out that much except for Andy's outfits.
Yeah,
He
same.
just
That's
looks
he's
the
the one
best
I have.
always. He just has natural style. Like I'm pretty sure they all wore like what they had. I don't
Yeah, it
think.
seems like it.
I mean, who knows, right? Like I couldn't find anything about that, but I can't
I
imagine
wonder
them
I wonder if
buying.
I wonder if Iraqi likes ministry and that like might be his ministry shirt or
It
something.
could be, yeah, it could be
Yeah,
some of it
like
perhaps is his, but nothing. They were all kind of just like normal kids,
yeah,
like in
totally.
t-shirts, like
It's just like the Larry Clark kids. Like it was all just
yeah,
seemed like what they had,
what they had, yeah. But yeah, obviously, and his outfits and his leather jacket. I love that
Yeah, I
jacket so
love
much.
that leather jacket. Yeah, that was
I
one of
love
my
it.
standouts.
And I wonder how much of it was like for example, that scene where he's, I guess, in his house, sunbathing, like playing guitar, smoking Marlboro Reds,
I
and by
know.
the pool. I wonder if that was like that, like he just decided to wear that and like put his sunnies on and that, or whether it was more staged and like maybe Araki was
Yeah.
like lay there, maybe wear this jacket off the shoulder or not or whatever, like
Yeah, yeah. That's it. That is an interesting thing. Is like even those small things you wonder, was it
he,
planned or
yeah. I mean, I'm
just
sure that was planned. The fact that he was smoking and like playing guitar and the way he
yeah.
came, it looked really cool. And then there is this like plane. Um,
Oh
he
yeah, going over.
Yeah, it's just really cool. Like I love that short scene. Just it looks really beautiful and cool.
Yeah, it does look really cool. It looks very like America, LA, like
90s, yeah,
suburb 90s.
definitely.
Like not even suburb, but just like LA. A lot of it's like that.
Yeah.
Just like so it's so funny. It makes me miss California.
Oh, I bet.
I'm like, oh, I know where like most of this where they're filming. I know where most of that is. Like I used to live in Hollywood for a little while. It's fucking weird and sketchy. It's not what you like. I think I had a really different vibe of it when I went there. Obviously, you see it on TV and the movies and whatever, and you think Hollywood's
Mhm.
like the place to be, but
Oh,
Hollywood is
honey.
not like
Yeah.
Beverly Hills. Like it's not, it's like more seedy, I
Mhm.
guess. So then there's like East Hollywood, but it's cool. I mean, it's not like super sketchy or anything, but it's just weird. Like when you see like streets you've gone on all the time and like, but it just looks kind of the same. Like it doesn't really look that different.
Yeah, no,
But
I'm sure you
it's
get
cool.
nostalgic about that. It's
Yeah, I was like, oh, I wish I was there in the 90s.
oh,
It's so rad. Like, just all the music and everything. Like, all the music I loved was in California when I was growing up. It was all like No Doubt, fucking
hmm.
ska music from like Orange County or Anaheim or like just like The Offspring. Like, it was all like that West Coast shit. After grunge, was like, is like the music kind of moved further down south and it became like more punk and like that's what was on the radio and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So yeah, I've always loved LA.
so cool.
It's very, very cool. But yeah, I have the I Blame Society t-shirt. I really like a lot.
Yeah, it's a cool t-shirt. Definitely never saw it before I moved here.
Oh, I Blame Society?
Mm-mm.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, that and like the ministry shirt I like, and yeah, I love his leather jacket. I love how it looks kind of 80s. Like it looks like it has like shoulder pads.
It does. I think it's just really, yeah, it could be. It's just really structured. Yeah, because he does
Yeah.
shoulders, does he?
No, yeah, he's really thin. He's really tiny. Like James Duval's not like a big dude. Wait,
Mhm.
let's see. What year was that? How old was he? He's born in 1972. Oh, so he's 20. He looks way younger.
He does, baby
Yeah.
face.
I feel like
Yeah,
he's 20. Yeah, he looks like just without a shirt on, he looks like he's like 15 or like 16. He just looks like a
he
kid,
does. He
like a
does.
little boy or
Child.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny. So do you have any music notes?
Yeah. Once again, like we did see this in like Nowhere and what's the other film?
Oh, Doom Generation?
Generation. Like he loves British artists. He
Yeah, it's
loves
so
like
cool.
yeah, and I feel like most of the soundtrack is by Brits.
Mhm.
I do love like that song called Ride by
Oh, yeah, Vapor Trail.
it's so
Vapor Trail, yeah.
that song and I
So
love
good.
that's it played in.
Yeah.
I think he's making out with that guy that he likes.
Ian? Is it Ian?
I think so, yeah.
And Ian's also hand job in Nowhere. He had green
Oh
hair.
yeah.
Yeah, that's Ian, yeah.
I like that song A Thousand Stars Burst Open by Pale Saint.
Mhm.
Um Who Will Tell by Coil. I love that.
Yeah, I fucking love his soundtracks.
No.
I love his relationship to music, like just in general.
I know, and I like how he has these like dreamy songs, but then industrial sort of metal, which
Yeah, like Nine Inch Nails, heavy.
I hate. 16 Bolt, like hates him.
Yeah,
It's too much. Like I
it's a
can't
lot.
listen to it. It's like no.
It's a lot. That whole like industrial vibe, that reminds me of LA too, because it was a very like West Coast type of
Yeah, it
music. It
was.
wasn't very East Coast. I don't think.
Yeah, I can't connect and with that music, never have.
I
Even
have a little. I've seen My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult at the 9:30 Club. Only because after I saw The Crow, I got a little gothy for like 2 or 3 years.
Mhm.
And like that's when I got into like Nine Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson. But never anything like too extreme. Like I got into Tool. Tool's not gothy, but yeah, I mean, but I did see My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult, and I also have seen Guar. You know Guar?
No, I don't.
Okay, Guar is the band. I think My Life with the Thrill Calls from like the Midwest, but Guar is the band in Empire Records where Mark eats that brownie. And he's
Oh
like looking
yeah,
at the TV and they're all dressed all crazy. And
yeah.
they like, yeah, they spit like all this like stuff in the crowd. Like they say it's like piss, but it's just like, shit from like Nickelodeon. It's like gack, but like you get it all over you. It's like an experience, and it's also like a goth like kind of show or whatever, and it's weird. But those are the only like theatrical, and I've seen like Marilyn Manson and stuff. But
Yeah,
just
but
like it's so
it's
it
just
it
like
is
no,
weird. No, it's
it's
not like that.
like
It's way
really,
more like hardcore than that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's super. It is good. Like I feel like the way they kind of had it in the film, like as a dull background noise. I don't hate it so much, but I feel like at full volume, it's not my shit.
no, exactly.
Yeah, if it was playing like softly in the background, I wouldn't hate it. If it was like, if it was in like a film or something but not in my life. Like I don't have in the background in my actual life, but I don't mind it in the film.
I was dragged to a show by like a crazy band that play music like this, and
Oh, really?
when I think I must have been 16, and I went to Mexico for holiday, like my yearly trip there.
Mhm.
And I went to see my cousin, and she was dating this guy who was like, I don't know, like into metal and stuff. So therefore she was into it too, and she was dressed in like, like that type of clothing, and like black lipstick and
Fishnet,
really
like,
intense, but like really intense, like hardcore. And
oh, okay.
I was like, God, this is really not fun. And they dragged me to this party where this like band played. And it was like torture, honestly. I felt so out of place. I'm like dressed in like ugh, completely different outfit to everyone else. People were looking at me. I must have looked horrified. And
Oh no.
I got a few comments like, you don't belong here, sort of thing. It was like
Oh
very
no, because they were
scary.
mean?
Yeah, they were making fun of me because they knew that I didn't belong there. They were like, "What is she doing?" You know?
Did you stay for the whole thing or did you end up leaving?
No, no, I had to wait for them because they had to drive me because we were really far, and I don't. I mean, I don't drive, but especially that time, I don't. Mexico can be quite a scary place, and
You're
when
not just gonna like take off and
I
be
wouldn't
like,
just get in
bye.
I
Yeah, you like have
always
to stick it
picked up.
out.
Yeah, I was always picked up, and I couldn't tell my mom to pick me up because it was already like 1 or 2 a.m.,
And you're like far out. She would be like, where the fuck are you?
Yeah, it was pretty scary. Ugh, yeah.
God. So eventually it ended and you got out of there.
Well, we didn't end. They decided to leave,
Oh, thank
drive me home.
God.
But yeah, she's like a crazy person. I'm not really close to her.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
that's crazy. I don't think I've ever had. I've definitely been places like I've been to a rave once where I was like, I want to go, and it was like far, and I had to wait, and it was like a really shit experience. But it was never. I don't think it was like scary. It was just more like annoying.
Well, I think what made it really scary is that I'm in an area in Mexico that I don't know at all. Not
Yeah,
that I really know, but I mean, I know like some parts of
yeah.
Mexico.
Some parts
They're
you
like
know better
the
than
safe
others.
parts,
Yeah.
like Roma and Polanco or whatever. But we were like out, like far out.
Like out of the city.
We were just like in the outskirts, I guess,
Oh, okay.
and it's a very rough area. Like you're like, what am I doing here? I really kind of be getting a cab like
Yeah.
by
It seems like not the
myself,
place. Yeah.
and you don't know if someone's going to spike my drink, and
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like not drinking. I had like one glass, and I didn't put it down at any time, like at all. Yeah. Anyway.
Gosh, how crazy.
Mhm.
Oh, that's nuts. I was like, I don't know how we got on this weird tangent out of music.
We're talking about metal and like
Yeah, we're talking about
metal and
yeah, like metal and like weird, like strange music and weird things. I have an interesting fact to bring back to the film. If you
Mhm.
go on YouTube, someone's put a whole like all the videos together as a soundtrack of the film.
Oh,
So
that
I'll link that on the website so that if people want to hear like, if you want to find them all, you can like see them. I don't know if there's an official soundtrack. I don't think so.
I think someone has done like, well, most of the songs from the soundtrack are on Spotify and
Oh, right.
on a
Okay.
playlist, but they added like a couple that are not that were
Oh,
in
okay. That
the film,
aren't
but
in
it's
it. Oh,
pretty
okay.
pretty close. Yeah.
Cool. I love the song that's in the credits. I don't
Yeah,
know what
that
song that
song.
is. Is that like Jesus and Mary Chain?
Um, I thought it was by Pale Saints, but I could be
Is
wrong.
that it? Yeah, I was gonna say I really like that song. But
It's
yeah,
really sweet, really
the
sweet.
Spotify too then. I'll link it. I found it on YouTube, but yeah, it also could be on Spotify as well. So that's cool. I think that's dope. I just wrote down some of the names like Ride, Throw Cold Cult in there, Wolfgang Press. Like, and there are also some bands that he ends up using on other soundtracks
Yeah,
too, which is really
yeah.
cool. Like Jesus and Mary Chain, I'm pretty sure is on like three of his soundtracks.
Mhm.
Like a lot because he really likes them, which they're fucking awesome. There's such good music also to have a movie too. Jesus
Yeah,
and Mary
I
Chain,
agree.
like I feel like they have so many good like vibey kind of songs that you would use in a soundtrack. I think it's super cool.
Vibey.
Vibey, yeah, vibey. Did you see? I made a. I'm finally like using Instagram for like what it is on the Fashion Grunge one, and I was like, oh, let me make a highlight of all these old stories that I did with like pictures with songs
Oh,
attached.
yeah.
So I made it and it's just called Vibes. And I was like, this is so lame. I don't even know why I'm doing this because I was bitching to my friend the other day about like how the fucking algorithm is garbage and it's trash.
Awful.
And I was like, what can I do? Like a fucking idiot. Like, what can I do to make people who actually like the fucking page actually see it? Like, how crazy is that? But and then he's like, yeah, well, you have to use all these features. I was like, well, I'm not doing like funny videos. Like I mean, like, what am I supposed to do, So I was like, let me make a highlight. Like I don't do any of that shit. I don't do like
Me
reels. I
I
don't do
know.
it's like you barely sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like posting. Like I don't care. I'd rather
I
do
don't
something
even
else.
know where the highlights gets. I honestly, I had them there for years, and no
Yeah,
one.
does it matter? Like, I
No,
mean,
I think the thing now is videos, isn't it? So reels, like that's what people's and stories. Is it even like people don't even go on
the
the
feed
actual
anymore.
feed or like yeah. I mean, including myself, I
Whack.
find myself just looking at stories rather than
I just click through them so fast. I feel like it's a habit now that I'm just constantly just tabbing, just tapping through. Like I barely watch anyone's full story. Disclaimer, sorry, it's not personal. I'm literally just like fast forward tapping, like oh cool, cool, cool. Or it's always like random shit. It's so weird.
I know, I hate it. I absolutely hate the way things change and like I used to love Instagram, but now it's like I don't know, it's quite
Now it's a
depressing.
money machine. I mean, if you haven't
It is.
noticed, they're just trying to
Yeah.
sell you shit now. So that's when shit gets whacked. Just like what happened with Facebook. Like back in the day before Facebook had ads, it was like the most harmless place. Like it was literally your friends that you
What?
knew, and you just could like. I used to meet people at parties, and we would like add each other, and we'd be like, "Yeah, let's go to their party," and we'd be like talking, like all these party invites for people's birthdays were on Facebook, and it was cool, and you had a wall. It was like dope. And then once like ads came in, and then like brands came in, and then it was like parents,
And influencers.
yeah, and fucking influencers and all this crazy shit, and then they started just making tons of money. And then that's when it just kind of like, oh, it's not like just a fun place to like plan a party anymore.
I know, it's awful. Do you remember when that feature came up, like on Facebook, like a long time ago, obviously, where you could pay to send someone like something like a emoji almost, like do you remember?
I
It
don't
didn't
think
last
so.
that long. It was like it was so weird. I was like, why would I pay money to send like a happy smile to someone or
Oh,
like
weird.
to I can't remember what it was called, but there was a thing. It was like
I don't remember that. I remember poking. Remember
poking.
poking?
Yeah, it was like poke. Oh God, it's so lame. Like
Like pay to poke. Yeah, it was so weird too because like you would go like I would add people from like school or whatever like back in like university. So I was like, I don't know, fucking, I don't know, like 20 or like 19 or something. Cause I got it when it was like only colleges had it, right? You had to have like an
Yeah.
EDU address to get it. So like it was only just like kind of like your college network. It wasn't really like anyone else. Like not really. It was
Mhm.
basically just like who you knew. So when you would like add someone and then you'd like add them at a party and then like I'd wake up the next morning and then you'd like log in and it'd be like Andrew poked you and then I'd be like who's the fuck's Andrew? And I'd like go and like look at the profile. I'm like, oh, it's that dude that I met at that party last night.
Yeah, it's such
How
a
weird.
weird
Like it was so
thing.
weird. That was
Just
so
could mean
weird.
anything,
Hmm.
you're right into it. Like, does he fancy me? Is he just saying
Yeah.
hi? Is it just like a friendly hi? What is it?
Yeah, it's so weird, but that's another reason why I really love a lot like these early Iraqi films too, because there's like no cell phones, no internet, no social media. So it's like I love all the phone calls like that they have in the film, and then they have just kind of like meeting up and they're just honestly having these organic conversations and they're connecting with each other. They're just like laying around together
Yeah,
most of the time, which is really cool, which I don't know happens as much now because everything's just kind of it's just online. It's just digital.
I
People
know.
are in message boards and they can connect with people they don't know. And yeah, it's so niche now. Like if I want to talk about a TV show, I can go to like a board and like talk about it with these people. I don't need to like connect with my friend who might not watch it. Like it's so weird to
I
think
know.
that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Do you have any like favorite scenes, lines? Like what's your first kind of note about this?
Yeah, I have a couple. So I mean I really like when I like it when they're sort of hanging out by a bus stop, like
Hmm.
after the club. It's kind of like at the beginning almost, and they're talking about this cult in Yugoslavia.
Yeah, I wrote this down too.
It's so funny how they're like, yeah, these cults were like they're called Black Kids, whatever. I really can't
Hmm.
remember. So I actually don't because again, the copy that I watch or like
Yeah, the one that's on YouTube, but yeah, it's
YouTube is
hard
like
to hear like
it
everything
is.
they
It's a bit
say.
muffled and yeah. And they're saying, yeah, the worst thing is that these kids listen to like Joy Division and like
Yeah.
yeah and Smiths and now the parents are like trying to ban that music. But
Yeah.
and then someone but she's telling us this and one of the boys goes, yeah, Europeans are such posers. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Like
But then they're like, no, but then what about their music? There's like Jesus and Mary Chain and
oh
like
yeah, they wouldn't well they can't get hold of that in Europe, I guess, or something like that. Like
that's really funny.
I know it is funny, just that whole conversation.
That is, yeah, I did have that written down as well.
Yeah, so that's like one of my favorites, and then the other one is when they all like do drugs at the car park,
Yeah.
and they just been silly, and then go to the 7-Eleven to buy chocolate and candy. I like that sequence a lot, but then right after that, you see this girl all dressed up in like a really chic outfit at the mall with a
Hmm.
friend, and
Hmm.
he's got like a car recorder, and he's like, "What?" He said something like, "Malls are. I feel seasick in malls," and she's like, "Yeah, I hate malls so much. They're a fucking nightmare." Like,
Such
I
a mall culture
I have
too.
to say, and that's me. I'm the girl in that scene. Like, I hate malls. I hate them. Like, there's no appeal at all for
I used
me.
to hang out in malls, I have to say.
Oh, yeah, because but it makes sense because in America, like, that's the safest place or the only place where you can hang out with your friends when you're young, you
Yeah,
know?
kind of, yeah.
Because, like, all the shops where, I mean, I don't know, like, I'm not sure that's like everywhere, right? But it is the same, I guess, in some parts in the UK, like not London, but like smaller cities,
Yeah, I
With,
was gonna say
like,
smaller areas.
like Manchester has that, right? There is like a mall or kind of like a bit outside Manchester, like in at the Trafford. It's called
Oh,
Old
cool.
Trafford, like
Is it
and so
still there? Like people still go there?
yeah, it's still there. It's very close to that stadium where Liam Gallagher played. Like it's
Oh,
called the
okay.
Old Trafford. Like it's a shopping center, and so if you're 16 or 15, where else are you going to go? There's
Yeah.
nothing. So you go to the mall, you have everything there. So I get that, but I just really don't like that whole culture of like doing everything at the mall. I just didn't grow up with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess like I half grew up with it, half not, because I lived in the city, so all the malls were outside of town. So I used to hang out in like Georgetown, basically, and like, other
When
areas of
Georgetown was
DC.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, Georgetown was a bit seedier and yeah, but definitely a lot cooler. Yeah, it didn't have a lot of like expensive shops like it does now. Like it just had more like bars and like there were places I used to go get like rave type clothes. There was a place like upstairs that would sell like upstairs from like some restaurant that would sell like cool shit. There was a punk store.
And they
There
have
are
like
like
record
used CD
stores there,
stores.
right?
Yeah, like record stores, used CD stores. Urban has been there. Like yeah, a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, a lot of bars and stuff like taverns that I don't know
Yeah, it's
are
so
really
sad that
there
it
now.
changed because isn't that
Yeah.
where all the punks used to hang out?
Uh-huh. Yeah, because like
I'm
the
so sorry,
Haagen-Dazs,
but
that was right. The Haagen-Dazs that was right next to Urban Outfitters that's still there on M Street is where Henry Rollins and Ian MacKaye from Fugazi worked
yeah.
before they became like massive.
So for anyone who hasn't been to DC or obviously doesn't live here, Georgetown is now the opposite of that. So that's
Yeah.
where all like fancy shops are and like nice restaurants and like rich people go and shop and it's very like nice, you
There
know.
used to be a mall there too, Georgetown Park. It was like an
Oh
indoor mall.
really?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, it was
wow.
like an indoor mall right where the like right on M Street, like I don't even know what's there now, like Clyde's, like or where the Intermix used to be. It was like on the corner near Dean and DeLuca used to be. I don't even
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It's like that
That's
whole
that's
area.
not there anymore.
Yeah, Georgetown Park, like that was a mall. Like and there was like I guess that's like an H&M over there now, but yeah, that was a mall, like an indoor mall.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's
Yeah, it was
crazy.
cool. Yeah, so we would hang out in there in Georgetown, and then you go down to the canal, and we would just like hang out and smoke and do all that shit at the canal and stuff.
Hmm.
But like, but it wasn't like. But then when I would go to the suburbs to see my like, if I went to like sleep over at my friend's house and I'm like 13 or something, like her mom would take us to the mall and just leave us there, because we go to a movie or something. But that was only when I was like going to someone else's house because my mom
Mm.
wouldn't take me to the mall. Like she wouldn't drive me to the mall, like just to go over there. But I would go when I could drive. I would go out to
Yeah,
the suburbs, because I was like, oh, cool. I don't want to stay in DC. So yeah, it's really weird. It's so weird about malls too, like how they kind of died out as like a youth gathering place. Like it was a big deal in like the 80s and 90s. And I guess once online shopping came, it like just kind of died.
yeah. Yeah, it's so different now. Like
Yeah.
I
And
can see
it's
what is convenient and like practical and all, but yeah, I just don't.
it's so weird. Let's see. I have the same note you have about taking X in the parking lot. My overall high level thought is that I really like how it's told in like 15 fragments.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
I think that's really cool, and how it kind of introduces that in the beginning. It's just like he just says like this is going to be told in like 15 different like celluloid fragments or something like that, which I think is really cool. So and there some of them are really short. I love how like near the end you just get one that's just like silence, just like dark silence, and then it just goes to the next one. So I like how it just doesn't really have. You first you think it doesn't have a plot, but then you kind of see like, oh wait, there's some things that I kind of want to know what happens. Like,
yeah.
I kind of want to know what happens to this character. They're not just like haphazard interviews. This has to do with something that is like the overall picture of it, which I really like a lot, which is super cool. And there's so many good quotes, like, and even the titles that are on the screen. I mean, I just have so many written down. Like, and I also love Andy says sex is a hassle. They're all like talking about sex and like all, he's just kind of like whatever about it. Like, he's very like, I don't know what I want. I don't know if I like guys and girls. Like I'm just super confused about everything about it. So I like that. And then one of the girls says, grossomatic. I like that. I thought that was cool. And then another Andy quote I love is like, I believe in love. Or no, I think it might be the girl actually.
Oh, that's
Like,
mine
I
too.
believe in love. There's got to be something else
Something for
besides TV, right?
yeah. She's like, I believe in love. There's got to be something for people to cling to besides TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my other favorite line.
I really like that a lot. I like that you see them in front of that Tower Records on Sunset that's no longer there. That was like
I
a big,
know.
big LA landmark, that Tower Records.
Well,
Um,
they just don't exist, do they?
no, they don't at all anymore. But I
Yeah.
think that one closed up before they all did. I think. Or maybe it was one. I don't remember exactly when that closed. It was, I don't know how long it was now. There's a documentary about Tower Records. Pretty cool.
Oh, I
Oh,
have to watch that.
oh, have you seen it?
I haven't, but
Oh,
you
it's
mentioned it
good.
before and I keep forgetting. I
Yeah,
think they
it's
had to create some sort of
like a list of things.
like a little spreadsheet with all the films I need to watch, you know.
Yeah, I think I've decided that we're not going to just stick completely to 90s. We might dip our toe in the 80s a bit because I really want you to see Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Okay.
Because it's just so funny and it's directed by the girl who did Clueless or the woman who did Clueless.
Would it be okay? Here's an odd request, but
Yeah. Ooh,
would it
yeah.
be really crazy to do one, to do like a film from like late 70s?
Well, you want to do Clockwork Orange?
Well, no, yeah, that, but I mean, that's different. I think you're gonna, I'm sure you love this film, Warriors.
Oh, that's right.
I fucking love that film, but
Oh
it's
wait, we
also
should.
like
I have not seen
70s.
that. This is a list of things. This is on the list of things I haven't seen. Let's just do it as a like. We'll just do it as a surprise.
Can't we?
Yeah, let's
Because
just do
it's
it.
such an amazing film. I
Wait, is
love
it
it.
streaming anywhere?
It was on
Oh,
Netflix years ago.
okay, we'll look it up. Yeah, I'll totally do the Warriors. Oh yeah, 79. That's good. I mean, it totally has the vibe
It
too.
does, and it's New York, and
Yeah, it's cool.
it's like about youth and like, you know, subculture or gangs, whatever. It's kind of the
Yeah.
same thing, but yeah,
Yeah, let's do it. Let's totally do it. Sweet.
great.
All right. So let's bookmark that for next week. We'll do that. And we also are it's gonna well, this is the first and people will know about it because I haven't posted about it yet. But for our next forward flash episode for December, since this is December 1st right now, we're doing 13. The film with Evan Rachel Wood and Nikki Reed from I think '03. I think it's '03, '04, something like that. So yeah, that's gonna be the next one. So look out for that on the second Sunday, which is like I think the 13th or something this year. Yeah,
Sorry,
it's the 13th.
did you say Sunday?
Yeah, second Sunday. Yeah, it's the 13th. So that's when that episode will be out.
Okay.
So yeah, that's exciting. Let's see. So I have other. Oh, I also love their title card. Tom Cruise, Rock Hudson of the '90s.
Oh, that's really funny. That conversation
I
really
love it.
reminded me of like the sort of chat they used to have with your friends, you know, when you were talking about all these like hot actors and like
Yeah.
cute. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's very relatable.
I
Like,
really love this whole this is one of my favorite bits too, is I love this whole conversation about like, and I love that it's that the way they're speaking, it's like almost like gay locker guy talk. Like,
yeah,
but usually you hear straight guys talk this way about women all the time. Like, this is literally in every film. There's always dudes saying all this really fucked up shit. But like, I love how it's all these guys and they're just like, oh no, come on, no way, not him. Like, and they're all just like super casual about it and they're like all just walking around. It's like four or five of them, I think. And I
yeah.
love how they're like, "What about you?" And Andy's like, "Michael Stipe," and they're like, "Ew, no way." He's like, "Oh, come on, his voice, man, his voice is so hot." And someone's like Mel Gibson. They're
Oh,
like,
Mel
lethal
Gibson, and
weapon.
please, like, no, he's
I
awful.
know he's awful now, yeah, but I guess back in the day. And then what? Matt Dillon. Someone's like Matt Dillon. Like we should do Drugstore
I
Cowboy
think
too.
someone said Kevin Costner as well.
Oh yeah, it's just so
So
funny.
funny.
I really liked it. I thought it
Wait,
was
Kevin
so
Costner is
funny.
the one that's in The Bodyguard, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
yeah.
He I mean, he looked really cute there.
I guess, but I mean, not. I don't know. I guess what did you have to choose from in like the '80s? It was like Tom Cruise, but they were like acting like, oh, he's like this closet case. Come on. I'm like, oh my god, was he? He was married to Nicole at that point.
Yeah, I don't think he's gay. No, I mean he's
No, I don't
crazy,
think
but he's not.
he's a
He's a little.
Scientologist, but I don't think
I know he's a
it's like.
weirdo, but I can understand why they would think that.
Yeah, I think a lot. I think that was like a big like kind of rumor in the
Yeah,
80s or 90s or whatever. But I love it. That's what it like. I love that was the title of it. That it was like Rock Hudson of the '90s.
I know.
And then I also like the card that says "It's my party and I'll inseminate if I want to."
Oh
there's
God, I know. That's
there's so
funny.
many, and how the girl calls like the AIDS crisis a right wing wet dream. That's what she says. That's what I was
Mhm.
talking about earlier. And then I love how even Araki has this in other films too, but I love how he has scenes of people walking by all these like weird things happening in LA because it's totally like that in Hollywood.
Oh,
There's so much
shit.
weird shit that happens
I've
like
heard
just
that.
on the
I've heard
street.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just weird. Like there's this guy who's dressed up like Jesus that you will see every day in Hollywood. Like, and he's there. Like, he's always there. It's like there's just so many weird things. It's almost like, when you see in Fear and Loathing, where they're
Yeah.
like driving through
Oh
LA
my
and you
God,
see, I think, an angel or like a guy dressed like Jesus, and you see like weird shit happening on the street. It's like that on like Sunset Boulevard East. Like, there's
mm.
just weird shit happening. It's so weird. But I really like how that captures a total real thing. I'm sure even now. Like, there's just so much weird shit happening. And then I like how they say like LA, the alienation capital of the world.
Oh
Because it's
yeah.
weird that it can feel really lonely. It's like a really like as much as it's like a really like sunny, and like you kind of think of it as this like everyone's super happy and everything's jolly, the way they portray it on like TV and things, it can be like a really seedy, like lonely place at the same time because it's so big.
Yeah, is it because exactly because it's all a bit spread out, and so
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing that from like friends who live there briefly, and that everything happens inside, so you don't really see things going on so much outside. You kind of have to like go somewhere to actually see action, like someone's party, like
Yeah.
at a house, or like, but it's not like lively like it is in a lot of places where you just see so much going on outside because everything's sort of spread out, and
Yeah,
apparently
people aren't like
that's
hanging out on the street or
yeah,
anything,
exactly.
except for like
Yeah.
downtown. But like that, you might see people like closer hang out on the street. Like certain places, yeah, you'll see people. There are like other areas that are more lively than others, but it is true that things happen inside. For
Hmm.
sure, because everything's like secret. It's like secret parties, secret bars, like, like are you cool enough to get in here? You know what I mean? Like you can't really tell where anything is. Like any like fancy place that any like a part of like the two or three places that I've like clubs I've been to in LA that were like I went with someone else because I had no idea where the fuck we were going, and like I'm not a club person, but it was some place that like it was like an alley that I thought was a dead end, and it's like you make a right and it's a fucking club, and like I would never know that, but
Hmm.
because I'm not cool. But it was like shit like that. Like, so it happens, yeah, kind of like in these secretive little areas, not like out like in New York City.
Yeah.
Like it's not like Paris is burning where you could feel the energy on the
Exactly. Well,
street.
like
You know what I mean?
New York, you have a vibe. You see it. It's electric.
Yeah,
Like everything happens. Like, well, not everything, but so much happens outside. You see like people like walking out. I guess it's just the way the city is built, and like
yeah,
the space. Like,
totally. And in cars, everything in LA happens in cars too.
yeah.
Because it's just like, yeah, it becomes like a big part because you're in the car a lot in traffic or like wherever, which is really crazy too. I also like when Andy says like, "Don't touch me unless you mean it." I
Oh
think he
yeah.
says it to Ian, I think.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I like that. When they
Yeah, I like
first
that.
kiss. Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
cool. And then I like when you see him like lying on the towel with his friend, is it Tommy? I think it's Tommy, the one who gets kicked out of his house later. And he's just like, and he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "Oh, where were you last night?" And he's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Oh, that guy." And he's like, "Is it serious?" And he's like, "He makes my heart beat." I was like, "Oh, that's so cute." And he's
Yeah,
like,
I
"You mean he
love
makes
the
you
way
beat
they.
hard?"
Oh
And
yeah, he's like, oh.
he's like, "Uh-huh." It's like, oh, that's so funny. I like that a lot. I like Say La fucking V a lot. There's so many things I don't even know what I'm gonna title this episode because there's just so many like things that stand out to me, like just little quotes and things.
Yeah, no, it's really funny. I mean, I don't particularly get it or like it, but when they talk about sex, like all these words for like or slang for like sex, I think it's a bit weird.
It is kind of, yeah, it is super weird. Yeah, I like the whole like the all the different euphemisms for masturbation. That was pretty funny. But they're
Oh
like
yeah,
shooting
that's yeah,
tadpoles
that's what I mean.
at
Yeah.
the sun, and then like some of them were like really gross, but I thought they were like kind of funny. So I've like definitely never heard half of that. It's just so weird. And then he also had that like really intense like gay bashing, which is super fucked.
Oh yeah. Oh
God, I was
God.
like, oh no. And then I was like, of course, like this still obviously still happens. Like this is not something that has gone away, but it's just like still so upsetting when you see stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it is. It's awful.
I'm just like, oh
Like it
God.
happens everywhere. Like I think you can't really say like even in big cities, even like
Yeah.
you wouldn't like. I remember like last year on a bus in London, a lesbian couple got beat up by some
Yeah.
fucking crazy
I heard
dude. Like
about that. Yeah, and they really,
like,
really beat them up.
what the fuck,
Yeah.
Like so scary. Like it's just so hard, you
Yeah, like
know.
what the fuck
Just
year is
like the
this?
gay community has it really tough still.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, it just seems that like I think there was some kind of another court case that happened in the States a while ago that was like this bakery didn't want to make a cake for a gay wedding or something, and they went to like all the way up to like this high court, and it found that like they could say no
Mm.
based on like their like religious beliefs or whatever their fucking reason was. I was like, "What? It's a fucking cake. Are you serious?" Like this is I was like, this is so stupid. I was like, this is just so nuts how like I and now not that I like, but like as that happens, um there are also some things that happen within the story which were like, if you've seen the film, but then Andy goes to Ian's place and that's when he's like not alone and he's
Mhm.
like,
Oh yeah.
I'm not alone. And he's like, what the fuck? And then after that, the segment's like you're screaming automatic pain because it's like the
Mhm.
pain of like the guy who got gay bash, and then it's like Andy, and Andy's already so like nihilistic and just so like fucking cynical about everything, and like never really allows himself to fall, and he kind of did for this guy.
And then when he does, it happens. I
Yeah,
understand. Like,
yeah, it's like it fucking sucks. It's just like it's such these like relatable feelings in just a
mhm.
even lo-fi kind of way. That even the way it's presented, like you still get it. That's why I love James Duvall too. I think he's such a great actor.
No, he is. He's really cute as well.
Yeah, he is super cute. My peak James Duvall would be Dark and Nowhere. He's like the hottest in that fucking
I
movie.
agree. I
With like
actually
the
agree.
ripped jeans and that black shirt, like in
Yeah,
the
he's
docks, that's
beautiful.
it. Yeah, he looks so good. Like just like that. I think it's awesome.
He's a little bit overshadowed by that other guy, the other actor. He's like really hot.
Who? In Nowhere?
I know that's Doom Generation.
Oh,
No,
oh,
never
Doom
mind. In
Generation.
Doom Generation, he gets a
That
bit
was I was
overshadowed
really
by.
conflicted in that movie.
I
Like
know.
I in no way in my life I've ever wanted to participate in a threesome with like two guys, but like when when in this film I was just like, oh, this would be kind of hard to say no
Yeah,
to.
I was dying to see them together. This is like
I
the
know. I was like,
ultimate.
this would be kind of hard to say no to if I was Rose McGowan in this situation. That
Oh
was
yeah.
so
I mean,
hot.
but even them two, like just making out would have been good to watch.
Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
not mad at that either.
Yeah.
So it's really funny. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he definitely is. He's almost like a Ryan Murphy now. Like he knows how to cast. Like he knows how to cast like some really awesome people too. Like even within like his other films, like later on, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, another amazing one. Like he just knows how to cast these great people. I think it's
Mhm.
cool. And then number 13 of the series is just empty, which is crazy too. And then I like Andy says when he got burned from the guy and he's like at Derek's new apartment and he's like BFD. I never heard that I think until I moved to LA. People say it all the time.
What is it?
Big fucking deal.
Oh,
Like, oh,
I wouldn't
BFD.
know.
People say it all the time and I was like there is a definite slang that I had to get used to. It's really weird that people just say these things that are so in the movies that you just don't think that gnarly is a big one. Like gnarly's a big one. People say gnarly all the time.
Oh, wow. It'd be
Um,
so hard for me if I moved there. I'd be
yeah,
like,
it's
what?
funny. New York has slang as well. New York has they had a lot of slang when I moved up there when I was 18. Like I had to get used to. Like people from different boroughs called things different. And yeah, it's really they have a slang too. Yeah, I guess DC does. DC does.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'm trying to think of like every city does, whether or not we realize it or know it. There are things. I just can't tell you right now, but I feel like there are probably some things that we have
Hmm.
that other people don't say. It has to be. It's a big city. Like
That's true.
all big cities do. It's just depending on like what it is, if we can like figure out what it is, but we'll Google it. We'll find out. And then God, the end is just so sad.
It is.
And I find so sad when he's like mixing all that shit, and I'm just like, oh no, no, what?
Ugh,
No,
I
it's so
know.
crazy. But also how the film starts with like, what gay teens have like a high suicide rate. I
Mm.
think it's like that's how it starts with this clipping, and you kind of see that like bookended there. So, yeah, it's a really good it's a really good beginning of this trilogy. He has another film called The Living End, which I actually have on DVD, which is his first film. It's from 92, I believe. That one's good. It's like two guys go on, they're both HIV positive, go on kind of like a journey together.
Hmm.
It's interesting. That one might be more streaming or something like on Prime, like possibly. Because I think that one's like pretty easy to find. But yeah, I'm so excited that we did this episode. What are your final thoughts about Totally Fucked Up?
I mean, my final thoughts are really sort of the same as my like first
First
impression.
thoughts?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. I do genuinely do like the film. I do think it feels like an important film. Like that's
Yeah.
the way I see it. And I think I would love to know if more people know it, or like if it's
Yeah.
just more like in America versus the UK, or
I'm
I'm just
curious
curious because
too.
I have no idea if these movies are big in the UK at all.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I'm curious to know that. I
Yeah.
will yeah, I should do like some kind of a poll or something like I wish I could do like multiple countries. So or like
Yeah, that would be
continents. Like
really,
what
yeah.
continent are you on if you like Iraqi? Like are you in South America? Are you in Asia? Are you in Europe? Are you in Africa? Are you in Australia? Like where are you, you know?
Yeah,
Um
I know. It'd be really amazing to know. I mean, I can see this movie will do well in the UK because, I mean, you can sort of see that by
it's so
them
foreign.
releasing it there. Yeah, because it's very like more like, like, I suppose liberal and like explore things that are.
Hmm.
I feel like in Europe it's just easier to talk about, and like people are not so
Yeah,
like,
more
you know what
open-minded
I
it
mean?
seems. Yeah.
It's just very different. Like Europeans are just more open minded, and
Yeah, as a whole, I think. Yeah.
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 But I definitely never heard of them when I lived there, and
Wow, okay. That's
so yeah. I mean, who knows?
I'm
It'd be interesting
excited.
to know. One thing I meant to ask you earlier:
Oh
do you
yeah.
have any idea, like how much the budget was? Because I couldn't find it anywhere.
No, I don't. I didn't see it
I
anywhere.
wonder why. It's
Maybe it was probably
literally nowhere.
self-financed.
I know, but I still want to know how much like it cost him to make it,
Because you're like, I want to make a movie.
because I'm sure. Do you think the actors got paid?
Oh, I don't know.
Or if it was just like, hey, this is like a fun project, people wanted to be part of it and they didn't care.
Maybe. Because I don't see anything here. I don't see any
No, I could not find it. I did look for it, but
yeah, I don't know.
it apparently made like 100,000 in the box office.
That's pretty good.
But I think it's really good for
Yeah.
considering it's like a really low budget sort of um low key film. Like it's pretty cool.
It's so crazy too that like some people don't like this film. It's I also encourage people to go out and read differing reviews of this film. They're pretty interesting. Like I don't agree with them. I really like this
What
film,
do
but
people say? Like
well, some
there's
people
like
just
bad
think it has no
critics, but
point. Like they think
uh
it's too like derivative of like some Godard pieces. Like it's just interesting to read. Yeah, like
hmm.
I just like listening to like why people think it's like garbage as well as why people really like it. So I think there's like I didn't look at it or didn't click on it, but there's something on YouTube that I saw. It was like why we hated this movie, and it was like two people
Oh
talking
wow.
about it, and I was like, oh shit, and I wanted to bookmark it because I'm like I'm curious to know why they hated it and like from what standpoint. I don't know, maybe there's something I missed or I don't know that they didn't portray like in an honest way, but I don't know what that could be, but yeah, I'm just curious to find out, so it's interesting. But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely read up
I'm
some.
excited that we did the first one. So we've completed the Apocalypse trilogy. We have other episodes where we talked about the other films, Rocky films. So we will do more in the future. We're gonna end up doing Mysterious Skin probably pretty soon,
Cool.
just because I really like it. So we're gonna do the Warriors next. You hear it here first.
Yeah,
And
it's on
13.
Hulu actually, if you live
Oh,
in the
nice.
US.
Okay, cool. And then we're gonna do 13 coming up in about like 2 weeks, a week and a half. So that's good too. So yeah, follow. Oh yeah, I forgot like and subscribe,
Oh
but
yeah.
you probably already are. Give us 5 stars. Someone else gave us 5 stars. So thank you to whoever that was.
Oh, that's
More
nice.
people on Apple, just give us 5 stars. Write a review. That'd be awesome. And yeah, follow the Instagram at Fashion Grunge Pod.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I need to post more. I have to give you the login so you can just post because I don't
Okay.
feel like, yeah, I don't feel like doing it all the time. But cool. Awesome. So we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.